This story will cover from then to now and next, all about change, how to turn losers into winners. A snow petrel in the Antarctic, one of a group of so-called tube noses that literally span the world's oceans from top to bottom, as we'll see. Here with some pintado petrels is the star of our story, the Fulmar petrel, the southern version. They're all at home on the waves, spending much of their time cruising the open sea that covers 3/5 of the surface of our blue planet. Much smaller than the Fulmar is the storm petrel, the size of a sparrow. And much bigger is an albatross. Depending on their size, their food varies from tiny plankton picked up from the surface to, in this case, a dead body stuck in a meltwater stream. These are heavy-duty giant petrels, which can be white too. They're all beautifully adapted to living in all sorts of sea, except these days to this. It could be a wet wipe on its way to a seabird from your bathroom. And it's certainly not coming back. Tube noses. We'll follow the link from our homes and how we live today to seabirds, the other side of the world. These black-browed albatrosses still nest in huge colonies in the Antarctic, but their days may be numbered because of our modern lifestyles and our demand for fish. One of these has regularly turned up in the past amongst the gannets in the far north of Scotland. A long way to come, and then sitting there thinking you're a gannet, and as well not being able to breed. At very much the other end of Britain is Land's End in Cornwall, the furthest southwest county, with rugged sea cliffs and bountiful seas. So it's a perfect place for our northern Fulmar, but it's not that perfect for a bird that's also sadly called the flying dustbin. Much of what we throw away can be disposed of properly or recycled, but a lot of it ends up in the sea, messing up the place, as at St Ives in Cornwall, or the beautiful beach at St Michael's Mount nearby. All sorts are excreted, usually innocently. Big items may get broken up in the sea, and the tiny remains end up in the stomachs of fulmars and brought back to land at Tintagel. Beautiful, protected, yes, but hiding traces of plastic that can kill. According to the Marine Conservation Society, in recent clean-ups, they have counted an average of over 50 wet wipes for every mile of coast on 300 beaches. Foil, cotton tips, bottle tops, bits of balloon, cling film. You name it, we use it, the sea gets it, and a seal gets it too. Except for competing fishermen perhaps, people love seals. They're a Cornish attraction. But we all love plastic too in its multitude of uses. Light, strong, so varied, so indestructible. And that's the problem when it ends up in the sea, or even wrapped round a seal or a dolphin. They feed on fish, which themselves pick up plastic, and so it's passed on up the plastic chain, and we eat those same fish. A dead dolphin, sadly. This marine chain of death begins in a really scary way, sometimes from plastics broken up by the sea and there perhaps forever, and in something even more sinister. They're called microbeads, and microfibers. The first, microbeads, could be in your toothpaste, up to 100,000 of them in one helping or blob, then down the sink, perhaps. The second, the microfibers, might come from your washing machine, from clothes, ironically made from recycled plastics in the first place. Tiny, tiny plankton, much magnified here, filter feeding the microbeads into their bodies, and then they will continue up the chain, possibly to us. 100,000 down the sink from one use, probably with many swallowed, which then ends up in the feeding path of the mighty basking shark, whose main food is plankton, sieved out by that huge mouth filter of the world's second biggest fish. So it's a complex food web, evolved from pole to pole, but now facing a new ingredient, a new impact. And here at Rinsey in Cornwall, detectives are on the case. And by studying seabirds like the fluttering Fulmar, perhaps they can help turn losers into winners. It's a big challenge, counting the millions of seabirds not only in Britain but around the world, to try and find out what is going on and why and what can be done about it. Can this little bird, the Fulmar, give us some clues? Courting on the nest ledge with cackles. They're noting everything, as are hundreds of experts around the coast every spring and summer. This kittiwake is watching them. It's another species whose populations are being carefully monitored, which, as with the Fulmar, so unpredictably go up and down.